the question is, where do
How long you was agreeing with me when I going along? You three options.
Okay.
But you realize if you step out agreement, it will make you look so
We're going
clever.
to be on the 3 options the next 4 hours.
No, we turn on 2 already. You forgot that we turn on 2. We have only 1 left.
You're actually in
Logically.
an existential crisis. That's where you're at.
What are you talking about?
It means you don't know your
was we
place in the
discussing?
universe. That's what it means. It means you don't know your place in the universe.
Do you know your place?
Yeah.
What's your place?
Life's a dream.
Man, you're crazy.
She agrees.
Well, you will never wake up. You need to wake up.
I'm only.
I don't want
I'm trying to say to you, I'm trying to say to you, what I realize is you all being mental lazy and you want to digress. You want to digress because you're getting cold feet to the journey that I'm taking.
Possibly.
And I put myself on your side like I'm a atheist, and you're so mentally lazy, you couldn't even think, you can't even think.
That's actually a very fair. That's actually very fair criticism.
No.
That's a very fair criticism.
I said this journey,
Let the ladies speak.
I take this journey with many, I take this journey with hundreds of atheists, many. But the difference what they have, what you don't have, they have patience and they have sincerity.
You keep. Can I just take
Patience is good and
I
sincerity.
am patient as well.
And don't be dishonest.
You keep on talking about being mentally lazy.
That's what I perceive.
Okay.
From listening to you guys, that's what I perceive. I call a spade a
I
spade.
can't talk to.
Sorry if you're offended.
I'm not part of any religious group or any agenda.
You're part of a religion, but you just don't know it.
I'm not.
Because you're mentally lazy, you don't know you're part of a religion. Let me correct you again. Let me give you. Do you know the definition of a religion?
You just told me about 8 times, but
No,
it's
I'm
not-
asking
it's
you
your
again.
definition.
No, I'm asking you.
Yes, you said it's your
I didn't write the
values
English.
or-
I didn't write the English dictionary.
Okay, show me
Where are you
now.
from?
Australia.
Australia. If you go in Australia and get a dictionary from there, you find the same definition.
Okay, you keep on talking about mentally lazy, but isn't...
You agree with Australian English? You agree?
It's British English, it's the same English.
You agree with the definition that they put for religion there? I didn't make the definition.
You're going like that and like that. You're not actually wanting to have a conversation. You're wanting
You scared of truth? That's what I said. You're the
I'm
one
not
diverting.
scared of the truth.
I said, what's the definition of a religion? If you don't know, I'm gonna tell you.
Okay, tell me again.
The definition of religion is, in a nutshell, I can give you 2 in a nutshell, the big
Okay,
one.
go.
A way of life, or something that your heart has been attached to the utmost. Cling to.
Okay, fantastic. Then.
So I can assure you, my sister, I can assure you, since you're a living being, every time I'm looking around this planet, while they're a living being, they have a way how they live their life. So you must have a way how you live your life.
Right.
Then that's your religion in context with the definition.
Okay, fantastic. I'm going to say I don't have religion because that's my opinion. And that's what I identify as. But you keep on saying
You don't have a way. You
I'm
say you don't have a way.
mentally
You
lazy
live
because I don't believe in that. I actually think the counter...
No. I did not say mental lazy.
Okay,
Believe in this.
you were calling me mentally lazy.
I said mental lazy or dishonesty. Both of them. I forgot that one as well.
Cool. But how is me as a person having the own conviction to, do research, believe in science? How is that?
You haven't done no research.
I actually do. I read and I...
Because you refuse to think.
I refuse to think.
Let me be honest.
I refuse to
Let me be honest here. Arrogance will fail to
But
accept.
you read a book.
No, leave
You
it.
hear people who talk at you
I was-
and tell you how to live your
I was-
life.
I got-
How is that more proactive than taking life into your own
I'm not
hands and
thinking-
deciding
I'm not
your own
thinking you
moral,
let me give you an example.
Your own ethics, your own right way
But
to
you
be
cannot
in the
think for
world.
yourself.
do
I just
think
proved
for
to you
myself.
right a while ago you cannot think for yourself.
But I do think for myself because I
So
don't
let me go
believe
again
in
very
any of
slow.
these
Let me go
books.
very slowly.
I don't believe in any of these preachers.
Let me go
believe
slowly.
In the way
I'm not asking you to believe in none of this. You're missing the point. I said put all those religion aside. I said use your brain and think.
I am talking. I'm talking.
So let me go very slowly.
Okay.
Unless you say, well, okay, then no. I don't. The definition of religion.
Yes, you
Forget
told
what
me
England
4
says.
times.
Unless it says. But you see, I tell you 4 times, but you still don't get it. That's why I'm
I do
repeating myself.
get it. I get what you're saying. I don't believe.
I don't want to
it.
repeat,
It
but
has to.
because you don't understand, I'm still repeating.
I don't understand.
So maybe the perception is very slow. That's why I'm repeating. I don't want to project no further. I would like to stop repeating. So religion definition means a way of life. So I'm telling you, if you're thinking carefully in what I'm saying, you will come to the conclusion with sincerity that you have a religion.
Sure.
Because
I want to stop talking about it. So sure, I have a religion. There we go.
Why don't we
We
just
know- we know-
agree on the definition that you provide and see whether we can actually work on that one?
Well, I don't believe I have a religion. I don't have a definition for a religion, but yours is a way of life, a way of thinking.
No, I wouldn't have a problem with that. So basically, everyone has their own way of going about things, right?
Yes, of course.
So this is what we call our ideologies around life. So I have an idea which is so deep-rooted, and this is my ideology. So I may be very compassionate to animals, and I become a vegetarian.
Yes, I am.
That could be my religion. That could be my way of life. You
Way of life.
You can define it in whatever you want. Okay? So that's not a problem, identifying yourself in that way. I think
But I think,
what
for me, that is not the way that I am thinking about religion is by organized by religion. That is, I think that is what I'm talking about. I'm not talking about ethics or morals because, of course, I have them. I'm a human like everyone else. But for me, that is more just the way that I conduct myself. That's more my personality. It's not a religion to me.
because the idea of religion to most people is an organized religion, centralized to a linkage to a deity of some kind, or
Yes.
absence of a deity.
That
right?
is the way I'm
That's
thinking
how
about
you
it.
think about
Yes.
religion. Okay. So I think what the brother is trying to say.
But I think
that-
it's the same.
That's
as
fine.
well.
That's fine. That's
We all
fine.
do. They all.
No,
Everyone do
there's
the
no
same.
point agreeing or disagreeing with this one. At least, we live our lives according to certain principles that we uphold. That's what it is, right? Now the question is, how should we live our lives? People disagree with that. You may say, look, I think we should live our life in mutual trust. We should live our life in harmony and compassion to each other. We should live our life according to principles which are good. So it could be that, okay, I should not harm you, you should not harm me.
Yes.
Yeah? That I should be kind when kindness is needed or not needed. Yeah, regardless. I mean, somebody may be in a need of help. It doesn't have to be me, but I can still show some kindness just because I think it's better to help.
Exactly. Yes.
So these kind of things we live our life by. But what the difference in the approach that you and other people may have is actually rest on our own existence.
Yes.
Okay? So you'll have an idea, an understanding of what you're supposed to do in this life, but is it necessarily linked with where did you come from? What are you doing here? And where are you going to go after you die, for example?
Yes.
These are central questions that
course.
I'm sure you have
Of
thought about it, haven't you? Right?
Yes.
Right. So this is where our differences may be. You may think, no, there is no God, there is no creator, the universe is what it is. Science gave us an understanding of this world, everything is natural.
Begins to, but it
Yeah.
does not give me a complete understanding. But yes, I
Something.
do.
And then what happens after life is, let's say everyone dies and the worm comes and eats you and so on and so forth. You can have an idea, an ideology based on this. Okay? But does it give you, based on these ideologies, does it give you the comfort in your heart and the tranquility in your heart?
Yes.
Does it?
I am
So-
a happy, tranquil person with my place in life. I'm happy with my place in the world and my ethics and my morals and the way I interact with other people. And I don't think, for me at least, it's not necessary to have that specific idea of religion with the deity and the books and the teachings. But I understand that is very important to some people, and I am completely fine with that. It's only once it starts to impact on my way of life and the way those people conduct themselves around me, and like I believe religion can be wonderful. I believe it gives some people a wonderful place and a wonderful community, but I don't think it's necessary. And for me, it's not my believings. It's not.
Do you
part
think
of my
life is
integrity.
meaningful
To me,
without God?
Yes.
Okay. So suppose now the idea of God is man-made. I'm going to try the negative part of it, the other aspect. Suppose there is no God, no creator, no originator. That means the world is there. What a question about.
Is that not fantastic?
No, let's take it to the right conclusions. The world is there. People have different ideas about this world. Now, how is life meaningful? Because whatever you think, there is no such a right or wrong thing. Because everything is meaningless in the sense that everything. Let me tell you why I think this is.
Okay, sure. No,
Okay,
I'll
and then
let you speak,
perhaps you
sorry.
can argue
Yeah.
with me. Because there's no creator, the concept of justice doesn't arise. Because what do you mean by justice? Nothing brought you into this life. Nothing asks you to be good. Nothing demands you to be good and just. So you live your life. Now, if something makes you happy, right? Say, what makes you happy is cheating people, deceiving people, to climb up the ladder, to be famous and successful, you get more money and you get more position and more power. If that makes you happy, for example, why should you stop cheating, deceiving? Because there is no morality that says that's wrong, because there is no idea of right and wrong in this
But
case.
I don't know if humans are born with an inept sense of what is right and wrong.
There's no such thing.
But
In
I
that
do
view.
believe No, it isn't, because that is my view. And I was brought up by two atheist parents in a rather atheist community, and I still learned to be kind to others because we are a human race. We are in this world together. We are in this world to support each other and to help each other grow. And of course, there will be people who get by in life by cheating and hurting other
Are they
people.
wrong?
Yes.
Why?
Because we as a society, at least in this society, I don't know around the world, but we want to grow. We have created a place where we innovate, where we create, where we try and support each other. And for all those things to continue, we need to have those morals, we need to have those ethics, and they might differ a little bit. Some people might think truth is more important than kindness, or like things like that, and they're very important as well because people are different. But still, if you hurt someone, then someone hurts someone back, and then it does get to you. So there are effects and causes and consequences. So if you aren't morally right or wrong, those come back to hurt you, and we learn. That's how children learn. Because if you're unkind to your friend, if you kick her and she kicks you back, that hurts you. That affects you. The circle continues. And we learn how to be just. I'm not saying everyone is just. I'm not saying everyone is kind. I'm not saying everyone has the right morals.
I'm thinking differently, because if there is no originator who originated out for a reason in this life, then there is no concept of justice or morality or any good values and principles. You are introducing this into your way of life, your ideology, because you think you are afraid of what we call of something reciprocal happening to you.
Yes.
If you are hurting someone, hurt might come to you. But suppose now you are in a position of power, a Brazilian drug lord. Nothing can hurt you. You have the power and the position and the tools to protect you. You live like a king. You exploit and abuse people with your intent and might, and you die like a king. And you get away from the justice that you think so exists, right? Now,
But in your...
so, no, in this case, why should someone be afraid? Because that person says, look, I have the power, I can just blow up people just like that because I have the means. Press of a button, I can destroy the whole city, for example. So if someone does, so according to your
Yes.
thinking, if someone doesn't have that fear, then they're okay to actually live their life with deception, with bad morality of killing people, murdering, raping.
Yes,
Yeah.
of course.
So it's okay for them.
Well, yes, because as we have those people in this society right now. Even with religion, we have those people in every single society.
So you're saying it's
we
okay
have-
for them to do that?
I'm not saying it's okay for them to do that, but they will continue to be here.
Let's understand again one thing.
No,
I want to know
understand.
your reasons. Your reasons of why we should have ethics and morality is that fear that if I don't do good to others, bad will be done to me. Like,
I think, yes, we
Yes.
learn.
Right.
We learn lessons,
Right.
and that is how humans
So
learn.
what
That is how we teach children.
yeah,
That
what
is
if that
how-
fear is not in the equation?
How do we get rid of that fear? How do we get rid of human interaction?
The reasons why you're trying to be
sure.
good, trying to be just and kind, and not to abuse and exploit and deceive people and be dishonest, it seems to be linked to the idea that the loss of something in return if you didn't behave that way.
Like, I assume in your religion, you get taught to be kind and to have those ethics, correct? That is that.
Let's let religion aside.
No, I'm not talking.
We
about
are talking on a principle. I apologize to cut you off. I apologize. We are talking on a principle level. There is no God. There is no originator. So we are there floating around in the universe, making a life meaningful to our own selves. Now, so why should one who is not afraid, have no fear that police will come and get me and people will come and get me?
I'm not
Because
an
you're
anarchist.
no. Let's understand something. We are trying to understand these issues of being kind and good and
I
just.
understand.
If there is no fear associated with you, then to kill someone unjustly and to rape someone, murder someone, cheat and exploit and abuse all the bad things that you know
Yes,
of, right?
there will
To do these things, why would that be not okay?
Because you still live in a society that honors. I'm not saying.
Doesn't care. That person doesn't care.
Of course.
What makes him happy is what he cares or she cares. For example, if I was a Brazilian drug lord and I'm not afraid of anyone or anything, I have the power and the means to live my life like a king and abuse and exploit and do all the bad things that you would abhor and say, desist, don't do that. Suppose now I am in a position, why should I live the way you're living? Like, oh, try to be charitable. No, I don't need to do that. What makes me happy is by killing people, for example. Suppose killing people makes me happy. So you're saying and my way of thinking is actually okay. There's nothing wrong with that.
No, I'm not saying that.
Why would my thinking of my way of life be wrong?
Because there is still a society with values.
I don't
and morals,
care.
and
I don't
yes,
care.
And those people exist even in this society.
No. I don't care because
No, I understand.
at the end
you
of the
don't care,
day,
and there are going to be horrible people.
listen,
There are
listen.
going to be horrible people.
my
I'm not
sister in
saying they're
humanity,
not. Yes.
if there is no consequence and justification of our actions and your beliefs, if there is no accountability and responsibility in the
There is by
hereafter,
other humans, not by a higher source, not by a book, by others.
Other human, those are
what I'm saying is, leave others aside. I don't care
What
what.
do you mean? Yes, sure, but if you are leaving
suppose-
others aside,
no,
then
suppose-
no. I want to talk, please.
ahead.
Those people will exist no matter what society we are in. I don't think it has anything to do with if we're living in a society controlled by the Bible, by the Quran, by atheism, by science. Those people are always going to exist. People have no disregard, who have disregard for other people's well-being. I'm not saying like everyone, I don't want everyone to be an atheist. That is my
What I
personal-
didn't understand is if I'm in a position of power and authority,
Yes.
right? Then my way of life is my way of life that makes me
Yes.
happy, right? So if killing people,
They're corrupt.
makes me happy, you shouldn't say you shouldn't do that,
That is not
because
what
that's
I'm-
your way of life, maybe not to kill others. No, we're not talking about religion. You're confusing the issue. I'm saying we're living in a model. Let's understand this. No, you don't understand my point though. I am saying, suppose we agree there is no God by sake of argument. If there is no God, there is no moral accountability.
That is not true. You
No,
have
no.
accountability to your other human
Where did I come
beings.
from? Where did I come from?
What do you
No.
decently?
Where did that accountability come from?
Compassion.
No, where did that come
I
from?
told you before there is a sense of fear. That is part of it.
If I'm not afraid-
But you're afraid of your God. It's the
No,
same
no.
thing. You're scared of your other
My
human
sister,
beings'
again, you're bringing
reactions.
God in. In our example, there is no God, right? In our argument. So don't bring God in.
Okay.
In a godless universe, we are living our life according to our own ideologies.
Yes.
Now, suppose I am a very powerful person. What makes me happy is making me happy by, doing all the bad things.
Well, then we can just talk about evolution. We can talk about
Let's
how
talk about-
it's not really good for, evolutionary for you to want to kill other people of your own race because then you don't evolve.
Evolution says in one of the models, the survival of the fittest. Maybe I am that fit guy, which has all the power and authority to destroy everyone else for that person's own happiness. So suppose that I want to be happy because that will make me fit.
You think if we're in a society, I'm going to say the word God, that is what I'm going to say. Yes,
There is no God in this
but
equation.
I need to talk about God to
So
talk
I
about
find it
atheism.
strange though. I find it strange, my
I
sister.
need to
What's
talk-
your name?
Audrey.
Audrey, I'm Mansur. I find it strange. The atheists or person who doesn't believe in God, people who don't believe in God, cannot get away from bringing God into the equation. It's impossible for them. I'm saying, look, the model,
Because I
I'd like you to respond. The model we are proposing it's a godless model.
Yes.
There is no God.
Yes.
So don't bring God in. We're not interested in a God in this moment. So
How
in
are
a
you
model like
supposed
this,
to reflect and refer if you don't have the...
in a situation like this, so I am bringing you an example. I am bringing an example where I am saying what makes me happy is to say kill people,
Yeah, I
right?
understand. We've had
Right.
this argument 4 times in a row.
So if that makes me happy, that's my way of life, and you're saying no, I'm accountable to someone else. I'm
You're
saying,
accountable to other humans.
why am I accountable? Who decides that?
And they're equal.
Other
None of them is higher than him. Why
I
should
don't
he
care
have-
about other human beings.
Okay, then you are a horrible person just like you would be
Why
a
is he horrible?
Right. Doesn't matter if I'm horrible, that makes me happy. Because I know there is no life
Why
after
do you
death.
need to be
That means-
accountable to a higher being?
No.
instead of your-
Again,
as you are calling us other
Audrey,
brothers and
Audrey,
sisters. Yes.
you're again bringing another higher being. In our model, there is no higher being. This is all the life that we
All
have.
people equal. remember?
Brother, 1 second. This is all the life we have. So I know in this model, I have only how many life? Only one life. So in this one life, if killing people, raping people makes me happy. Of course, God forbid this is ever happens to anyone, right? Okay? Because we are decent people. I'm just giving you an example from the sake of argument. Suppose now I was that horrible person who is happy by doing all these things. And that person, me, for example, thinks this is only one life, and I think, okay, fine, I'm gonna do whatever makes me happy because that's only one life I have. Why should I be restricted by your arbitrary sense of goodness and morality and justice because somehow, it will, if I don't become good to you, I might be reciprocally being bad to me by other people. But if I don't fear about bad things happening to me because I am in a position of power and authority and money and wealth, then basically you're saying
Justice.
I can just live my life accordingly and there should not be any accountability.
Still have the justice. Yeah,
What justice?
The court justice.
What
Somebody
justice?
murders someone.
Wait,
they
wait,
get
wait,
taken
what
to
We
court.
have lawyers. We have laws.
This is a kangaroo court. What justice?
justice
There is
system.
one
I'm saying
life.
if you go around, you're happy going around killing people.
Audrey,
I'm just originating.
in
it.
this
I'm just
model,
saying
there is no
people
God.
get taken to
I
court.
There is only one life, and we know that certain things make us happy, certain things make us sad.
If you are
So,
equal, you shouldn't be no
if
super.
I want to live
Like,
my
you
life
make a
and
justice
to
system
my
for me.
fullest,
You're assuming super skill for all
to
my life.
fulfill my life,
Somebody else's life.
the one life I have,
The people
I should try to fulfill what makes me happy.
people, the head of the people.
Are
This
they
is
God
my
over me?
ideology.
But that does not mean we
Are they
don't.
God over me?
If
There's no
by
God in the
doing
equation.
that-
Doesn't matter if you kill someone.
I
you
don't
should be
care
brought
what
So
you
why
define
should they
as
not push it
justice.
to make a justice
Because
system over me?
So you're
Why
actually
should they-
looking
because
at
there's
can't be put in
people who
jail.
act bad.
We
Why-
still have lawyers. We still have society. We still have phones which I can call the police on. It's not.
I can just press a button and destroy the whole lawyers in their court. and
You can do that even if
Oh,
you're
so
religious.
you're magic. You're magic.
No magic.
We
No,
try to
no,
stop
it's not
that. We
magic.
stop selling. We
Do you
try to
know what
stop
happens?
selling certain things.
Do you know-
Can't get hold of that.
Hold on, do you know? Certain countries, they go to another country, certain countries, they invade another country, yeah, with some pretext. Like we went to Iraq with the pretext of weapons of mass destruction that never existed, right? And we destroyed the whole civilization and the
mental
people,
laziness and
thousands of
dishonesty.
children.
Okay, so
Now,
people are corrupt.
people
Sure.
people do that.
laziness
Now, what I'm saying
and
is,
dishonesty is
why
what
are you
every
blaming
atheist suffers
them if that makes them happy?
disease.
In that model.
Because we all
mental
have
laziness
a
and
sense of
dishonesty.
belonging in
Yeah,
our
same thing.
society.
I don't. You do. I don't. I don't.
But that does not mean that other people
Don't
do
think-
not. That does not mean
and
you
when
are
you
not
catch 'em pinned
accountable.
up,
And if you are,
Why am I going to be
but
accountable?
that
I
does
don't
not,
care.
I'm not saying the world is perfect. I'm not saying a world of atheism is going to result in everyone being happy and rainbows and sunshine. I'm saying sure there might be a corrupt person who blows up everything.
No,
but
you
that
call
does-
me corrupt, but that makes me happy. If something makes me happy,
I'm
call me
not, I don't want to
corrupt.
make you sad. That's
No,
not right.
it's in the sense that if blowing innocent people in a bus or an automobile
Yes.
makes me happy, you're taking my happiness away from me.
Yes.
You are a corrupt person. You are actually an evil
Do as though
person
we remember.
who are imposing some sense of morality and
Stop,
justice.
be stopping evil.
Audrey, do you see
Stopping
that?
evil.
In my view,
You would be
in
evil.
my view,
Yeah, your view's wrong, obviously.
But this has nothing to do
I
with
go
the
around
size
killing
of the
people when I'm
That just
happy.
has to do
And
with
you
the
stop
world.
me.
It's an evolution.
I'm not.
So
that's the model.
You believe
If
in
there is no
there's more
God,
proof for evolution. And
you
there's
can-
cannot come
There's
to me and say, you know
evolution
what,
and there is
Yes,
no
I
proof
can.
for
Be
God.
just.
There's
I'm
no
saying
proof
I don't
for
care.
evolution.
Because there
And your
isn't a
DNA
God,
says
I'm
that you
saying
come
it
from
right
the
now.
animal.
I'm saying,
I'm saying, okay, I'm saying, okay.
I will say, Audrey, you are entitled to your opinion. I don't buy it. I don't buy it, but I'm entitled to my
I'm
opinion.
very happy that your religion makes you happy. I'm very happy that your religion provides you that community and that sense of purpose in life. And that is so fantastic. You're right about that.
So you're okay with me killing people then?
The DNA can't come from
Oh, no, I said I'm okay with you having a religion. I didn't say I was okay with you
What do
murdering.
you keep religion in? I'm providing a model in which there is no God, and we live in a godless society, godless nation, godless earth, with our own
Okay, can I-
made purpose.
Okay, so let's just, we're not humans, okay? We're, I don't know,
Humans.
dogs for example. Dogs do not believe in
Tigers.
God. That does not mean
No,
they
no.
don't have
Tigers
like,
and crocodiles.
society, and that does not mean that they don't have like cannibalism and yes.
Tigers and crocodiles, all these carnivores, which are at the top of the jungle, right?
Yeah.
Do they say, I'm going to feel some compassion because you know what? I will just.
Humans are pack creatures.
Humans, according to
Humans
this
are
model,
pack creatures.
Human-
We survive in groups, which means we want to preserve the groups in
so
society.
if you're a
that we are
tiger,
in.
if you're a tiger,
I'm not a tiger.
now if you were a tiger, would you say, I'm going to let that deer go out of compassion?
No, because
If you're hungry, and there is this deer coming through, would you say, I'm going to let it go? Or would you say, I
well,
don't
from
care?
what we can think, tigers don't have conscious thought and conscious streams of, decision making in such a way that, like, we don't have.
But we are just animals like all these other animals.
It's evolution.
Right? In this model, we are just other animals. We
No,
cannot.
we're not. We're not.
We cannot
We
not.
have consciousness,
Okay.
and we can recognize each other in a mirror, and I can pull up a list of why we're not like any other animal. But sure.
Where did consciousness arise in this model?
I have no idea. I'm not a scientist.
This is where this model doesn't
you
work.
read a book that
No,
someone
no.
gave you that you have
Audrey, this is
learned
how.
from birth.
So far, have I quoted anything from the book? Any book?
No.
So as you can see,
But I'm
our acceptance of a model
I think she believes in God. She's not atheist.
is actually something that we use our intellect
She believes in God. She's not atheist.
to arrive at these conclusions. Look, at the
why
end of
should
the
you
day,
mention God?
I'm not an anarchist, and I'm not a horrible person that I describe myself to be. I'm a Muslim, and as a Muslim,
She believes in God. I think she
even
believes
if
in
there
God.
was £1 million left
She's a
somewhere
secret
there,
believer.
I cannot and I will
I think
not
she's a
take
secret
it
believer in
because
God.
I know that
She keep mentioning
every
God.
single penny of that £1 million, I have to account for it in the hereafter, in the day of judgment, which didn't belong to me. Okay, this is because I believe in a Creator who gave us the sense of justice. Justice demands that the money that doesn't belong to me, I shouldn't take it myself.
Yes, but
But your justice comes from where?
society, by my other fellow human beings, by the law. I have to pay. You pay your taxes. And some people don't. Some people really don't, and that's not good. Some people don't go to jail. Some people do get away with it, and that is the way that this world.
So why should it come from other?
So-
My one question, sorry. Why should it come from other human being? When we are all equal, they're not a god over me. I'm not superior than them. They're not superior than me. Why should my justice, my way of living, should come from another human being? Why? It's a big
It's not
why.
a single human being. It's collective groups of.
It doesn't
thought.
matter. We are all
It
equal.
changed. We're in a
Just
democracy.
to add to your
Things
point, though,
change.
just to
We
add to
like-
your point,
We are all
Audrey,
equal. Why should
do
they?
you remember in the Indian
Why should they decide for
subcontinent,
me?
in India, for hundreds, if not thousands of years, there was this cultural norm, not exception, called Shotidah. Shotidaho is a bride, a woman who's married, will be burnt alive when her husband dies, passes away. She'll be put into the fire. I don't know the mechanism. I don't want to go into these graphics, but she'll be burnt alive.
Yes.
A culture.
And there are many things
Now,
like
this cultural norm was agreed on by the society. Now, I'm sure you agree with that, right? Because it's the society that agrees.
I did not say societies were always
just said-
right.
So basically now, what we are now coming
I
up
did
with,
not say we are correct in
so
this.
what we are now coming up with, societal laws and regulation, as the brother is saying, is something that is going to constantly change due to our whims and desires
Yes.
and our ideas and so on.
Yes, because as we have seen, society constantly changes and flows and goes back and forth.
That means there's no right and wrong.
It means it changes, but it means
No, changes means there cannot be any right and wrong.
it
Shotidaho,
doesn't.
wife burning alive,
Yes.
was a right thing to do. If you were not doing that yourself or your family, you'd be committing something called societal
Homosexual
wrong.
was wrong to do.
Yeah,
But no,
societal
okay for them.
wrong. So if you were there back then, before it's now outlawed
Yes.
and totally removed from our culture, if back then, if you didn't burn yourself willingly, for example, when there, you'll be considered to be committing a wrong, societal wrong. So as you now define it, the rights and wrongs seems to be defined by the society, which can change. But the system that we are introducing to you, as you will realize, is an introduction to our system of Islam. Society doesn't make things right and wrong. There is an absolute standard which we can use, from which we'll say this is right, this is wrong. Because that only then we can say something is right, something is wrong. Otherwise, you cannot come along and say this is
Tell me,
right, this
yeah,
is
you
wrong.
can't tell me what to do.
So the system that Islam provides, which I would like you to look into.
Someone
okay?
has already given me multiple.
Sure,
things
sure,
to
sure.
read.
To look into, you will see that this goes on these standards where the Creator exists. There's another one. Yeah, the Creator exists, and the Creator has created us for a purpose. He didn't just create us all mere play and jest. Created for a reason. This universe will one day come to an end, like our lives will come to an end. But that will not be the end of it. There will be judgment and accountability based on our belief and deeds, and then there will be another life, which is life either in a good place of tranquility, happiness, joy, and bliss, or another place where there is misery,
you
suffering,
bring back the
torture, and pain.
conversation.
We would like you to consider where would you like to go.
Sister, you see what what happened a while ago when you go back to a creator, then you bring back the conversation to where we was from before, because talking about the creation, the beginning of creation of the universe, the Big Bang, and that imply that we're talking about a creator. When we talk about the three options and we turn on two of them because it didn't make no sense
Yeah,
logically.
we're back at the three options.
Yes, but logically, I was just taking a logical journey with a lady that it didn't make no sense logically, and you was agreeing that yes, that doesn't make no sense, turn it down. So the only one that left standing that makes sense is that there gotta be something, somewhat, you can call it for the moment because it's anonymous, you don't know what, something, somewhat, an external entity that caused the Big Bang and give existence to the
Okay,
universe.
so let's entertain this hypothetical. You did your hypothetical of you're a corrupt human in a world with no God. Okay, there is a God. How do you know your story is correct? How do you know your book is the right one?
We can actually explore the idea of this possibility, just like we explored.
Yep.
Right. So if there was a God, what do we expect the nature or the attributes of this God to be? Because how do we say this God exists in the first place? This God has to be in existence eternity, with no beginning, first of all. Because if something exists now, there has to be something always. Yeah? So that creator, if we now exist, there's a
I
creator.
don't know that, but sure.
No, in this model now there's a creator.
Cool.
It is now rationally conclusible, or what's the word do you say?
Conclusive? Conclusive?
No, something that you can conclude. Rationally we can conclude. You can see how my English is. Sometimes I'm stuck. We can only rationally conclude that being, God, has to be eternal. It cannot be a being that is began to exist at one point.
Yes, it's
So an
always
eternal
been here,
being.
always will be
Okay.
here.
Now, if a being exists eternally,
Yes.
that being has to exist with maximal perfection, would not be limited by any imperfection. I'll give you an example to illustrate. If that being has created this universe, demonstrating this power and energy involved, that being will be all-powerful, not be limited, like I'm a limited power, I can only do certain things. No, because if a being didn't exist, there is nothing that restricts eternally that power that being, the creator has. So the power that being will have will be unlimited, absolute power. Likewise, if that being has knowledge, will not be limited, not be bound, will be unlimited, all knowledgeable.
Yes.
So if you now use this example about the will be the will which will be absolute as well. Will of an Almighty, which means if that being wishes something, that's precisely the process that we are coming to use. So now we realize if a being exists, that being must possess certain characteristics. Being the originator, while not being originated, has to be one. You cannot have more than one absolute.
Why not?
Okay, let me give you an example again. If we envisage somehow there could be two absolutes of nature, what's going to happen to our universe? Is this something that we can even think about? Suppose now there are two such gods. Two such gods. For the sake of argument, we can say 5, but let's start with 2. And God number 1 and 2, to make it simple. God wants, number 1 wants me to disappear from existence right now. All-powerful God, I should be able to annihilate from existence. No. This is what God number 1 is capable of, by definition, by conclusion. That if you exist eternally with all the power, then if you want to destroy something, you are capable of destroying. So God number 1 is able to destroy me from existence, right? Now if you have another God, if you have another God who says, no, I want this horrible person to live another 50 years or so.
Okay, but there are other religions who have the exact same view.
No, let's understand. We are now trying to understand why there can only be one of such a being. If there were 2 beings, so God number 2 says, no, I want Mansur to be alive and well for another 100 years. What's going to happen? According to the definition, God number 2 is totally capable, totally able to keep me alive for another 100 years.
But if there were multiple gods, that situation would not, like based on your version of what a god is, that situation would not happen. There would be totally in sync, totally perfect.
No, why?
Like it would be.
But the possibility could occur. Even if it didn't happen, even if they agreed that they would never disagree, the logical possibility will still be there that they could disagree, which is a problem.
And can I just add one point? If there's multiple God, this is.
Yeah, okay, thanks.
If there's multiple gods, which is eternal and all powerful, and this is inevitable that day. Remember when we say the creator, then deductive thinking tell you that when you create something, you own it. You have ownership, right?
Yeah.
So now we see there's we see the homogeneous nature. We see the homogeneous nature of the universe, the solar system, and how things moving, the order moving.
Yep.
So if there's multiple God, that means each God, what they created, have ownership. They would have taken away what they have created.
Cool.
So then therefore you'd have seen a
Does that make sense?
Yeah, cool, this one God, why is yours so
No, okay. So logically and rationally, it makes sense to be one God.
Sure.
Okay. So why is this one God? Now, the version that we are presenting to you is actually a God
talking about the creator,
who is
existence,
the originator without being originated,
talking about creator,
everlasting with no end,
the existence of a creator.
the one who is absolute, the one who is only, and the one who is unique, has to be unique, and the one who doesn't have any lineage, because he won't be one anymore, there'll be more than one, or children, or any parentage where any parents and forefathers and so on. Yeah.
For example, in Christianity, it's all three in one. It's not multi. There is the Son.
Does that-
and the,
would that make
the
sense,
Holy
though, three in
Spirit. No, because they are the same being as well. They're the same.
It's not really the same bearing. One of the things we come here in Speakerscorner, as you realize, Audrey, we discuss this concept of Trinity, and you'll find that actually I haven't met anyone who coherently has explained rationally. They will say, look, Trinity is not something that you should use your mind for. You should stick to the book, the Revelation, because it's a mystery. Mystery card displays when something is obviously irrational. So Trinity cannot be rationally explained coherently at all. Yeah. So when you said
I can't. I won't be able to win this.
no, it's
We
not
know
winning,
you will not be able to
Audrey.
win
If
this.
you think Audrey, if you think of
We're not gonna
Audrey,
win this.
if you think of yourself winning and losing, let's end the discussion here. We don't come here to win an argument. Okay, I apologize if you thought, I do apologize sincerely to you, Audrey. If you ever felt this is about winning the argument over you, I think I'm going to leave this conversation right now, okay? Leave you time to think, okay? But what I will do is, because we did not finish our conversation, that our belief is Islam.
Yes.
We are Muslims, submit and surrender to the will of one true God. And this is what we would have called you to. But as I said, I'm leaving the conversation now. I would like you to, read the Quran, the book of these Muslims, and then perhaps maybe one other day when you speak with another Muslim somewhere, continue your discussion, Audrey. Continue your discussion. Is that okay?
No more than the
Can I say one thing though?
and you should come and learn
Thank
from
you
it.
for talking to me. I hope
Say has no
you're.
meaning.
I'm happy in
If
your
you want
religion.
to
I
explain the
hope
Trinity
your
to you, I will
God
explain it.
serves you well. I
Any
hope
God
I
who
hope
does
God
no
guides all of us,
Trinitarian is
you
not
and me,
God.
closer and
Any
closer to
God
the
that has
truth.
no spirit cannot be the creator.